Hello, hello. Welcome to today's live Sound Farmer podcast. It's good to be here with you guys. This is our only video that we are doing this week. I posted a YouTube Shorts about a trip we made to a waterfall here in Austria. But the reason we made that trip and the reason we haven't been posting more videos is because my parents are visiting from Sweden, and so we wanted to take that time to focus on spending time with them and not, making videos takes a lot of time. But the weekly Sound Farmer podcast is happening right now. I'm live. Last week was a pre-recorded live stream that I aired, but today I'm here again, so I will be able to interact with you guys. Listen, we have an incredibly important subject today, and I have to be honest, it has been weighing heavily on me. I want you guys to know that I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you guys taking this time, and I do not take this lightly. I do not take these subjects, the titles, the content of these videos lightly. I do not take it lightly, the advice that I share, because I know that anyone listening to what I say, it's a life, a whole story there. It's people struggling, it's people having dreams, it's people wanting to reach something. And I get a lot of questions, a lot of comments, and I did a poll on YouTube again, okay? And I want to share that with you guys. This is the poll that I did on YouTube. It says here 5 days ago. I took this screenshot just a few minutes ago. What would help you the most in your life and farming homesteading journey? And I like to ask those questions sometimes and make a poll like that because it really helps me to see where people are at and where you need help. And I had several different options, and there were some comments, and I'm going to share some of those comments in a little bit here with all of you guys. But you can see here on this poll, it got 237 votes, okay? And the majority, 53% of you guys said, if I got my hands on a bunch of money and more time. And this is understandable. This is where most people feel stuck and limited. And this is where I have felt stuck and limited for a long, long time myself. And we're going to deal with this today. Okay, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this subject of getting started in farming, where to start. Look, okay, let me say hi to everybody who's tuning in here. I see a lot of people, or not a lot, a few people writing in the chat. It's good to have you guys here. At the end of this video stream, I hope to answer some of your questions again. I will be less attentive during the stream to the live chat because I am focusing on the material. But look, I got an email from a viewer, and they wrote a bunch of stuff there, and I want to share some of that with you guys. So the person wrote, please do a podcast about holistically getting started when you have no idea what the heck you're doing. Getting started is one of the hardest hurdles, and then keeping at it. Okay. And I understand that's challenging. That's hard. This was another part of it. As much as the holistic approach makes sense, I feel the biggest hurdle is implementing it, taking one decision, looking at all the possible outcomes and all the ways to get there or not is not easy. Okay? And then again, I got another part here. The cost to buy land or finding land to rent is by far the biggest barrier for most people to get started farming. Okay. So this is really, um, this is really where many people struggle. And I asked this poll, I'm going to show this again real quick. Um, most people feel like they don't have enough time and they don't have enough money. Now, I really do not mean to offend anybody with the content that I create. I do not mean to take lightly the struggles that anybody has. And I do not mean to, talk down and kind of belittle the challenges that you have in your life. I know that I don't know you guys. Very few people that follow me on social media do I actually know personally. I know a few because I work with you, and some of you guys I know personally. But I'm going to say some things now, and I hope that you guys are not offended by that, okay? The poll here, where over 50% of the people said that, what would help them the most would be some more money and some more time. There is a big danger that there's good news and bad news. There's a warning included from me here now for all of this. First of all, there can be a big danger in focusing on that, because you are not looking at the time and the money that you do have already. Okay? And it's also, it could be, it can be an easy excuse. And listen, I do not have much time myself. I do not have much money myself. So I know the issue. I'm not trying to belittle anybody's issue here, but it can be an excuse so that you have an excuse for yourself, not towards others, but for yourself. But what is it you do with the money and time that you do have already? Okay, that's a question we're going to talk about today as well. But then I got a comment again on this YouTube poll where somebody wrote, money and time are very helpful, but planning and strategizing are more realistic answers to success. Okay. Now, let me go straight to my quotes that I have here. This quote by Greg Chudy, Regenerative Rancher: brain power can overcome the lack of money. It's from one of his books. Brain power can overcome the lack of money. I think that's so powerful. I would also say brain power can overcome the lack of money and the lack of time. Okay? So money and time are very helpful, but planning and strategizing are more realistic answers to success. Before I talk about where any one of us, in my opinion, not just should start, not only can start, but also should start, let me say this in regards to the money and time. In holistic financial planning, one important aspect there is that we say that we generate wealth not so much by the money we earn, but by what we reinvested in. Okay? What do we do with the money we actually have? Okay, and I'm not talking about $1 million, or I'm talking about any money, from $1 to whatever. What do we do with the money, and what do we do with the time that we actually have? And while there are some people who need to have their butts kicked, get off of the internet, get off of, computer gaming, and get off of whatever, I know that some of us really struggle, and we don't know how to do this right. We have children. I have 4 children myself. We homeschool, right? We have jobs, town jobs. I have been burned out twice in the past where I juggled the YouTube channel. People didn't know this, but I was burned out from the YouTube channel, the town job, the kids, and pastoring a church at the same time. I know what it means to be extremely busy and to struggle. Okay. Um, so I'm not trying to bash anybody here or belittle your struggle with having too little money or too little time. But what this comment was saying, I believe, is really true. Ultimately, the path, our life, and in this case, the subject is our farming dream, our farming life, our homesteading dream, our homesteading life. But it's true about any area of life. Ultimately, the path we take is based on the choices we make. And so the power lies within the decision making. The power lies within the decision making. So how do we do that, guys? How do we do this? And this is, again, to come back to this email that I got. Do a podcast about holistically getting started when you have no idea what the heck you're doing getting started. When you have no idea what the heck you're doing. Getting started is one of the hardest hurdles, and then keeping at it. Okay? So how do you do this? Where should one start? Where can one start? Is it watching all the is it watching all the how-to videos on YouTube? Is it reading all these books? Is it, what is it? Is it hiring an expensive consultant? Or is it doing, hiring an expert who can plan your farm? What is it? So what I want you guys to take from this today, from this live stream, is that we all need to make decisions, okay? Doesn't matter that I don't know your specific situation, your specific life. But what we all have to make decisions, and those decisions, they lead to something. They lead to something. What is it that they will lead to? And a lot of people that first come in contact with holistic management, they ask, well, what happens when we manage holistically? What happens then to my land or to my time or to my finance or whatever? But that is the fundamentally wrong question. In holistic management, we ask ourselves, what is it we want to have happen? What is it we want to do? And then we manage accordingly. Okay. So now let me talk about where to start. And I'm going to go back to this poll again. It can be incredibly encouraging for you, what I say now, that for over 50% of you said that if you had some more time and money, your issues, you would get closer to your goals and all of that. Let me say, without trying to belittle your issues, that's most likely not true. There's a good chance that that is not true. I think that there can be a big illusion. I believe that having money can actually be harmful and you don't become excellent in management. And you just waste more money when you have more money. There's a risk for that. But I think this can be encouraging because I'm telling you, if you don't have much time or much money, there is a good chance that might not be what is hindering you the most on your journey right now. Okay? So, where do I recommend that you start? Where do I recommend that anyone starts? Look, what is it anyone has already? We all have some kind of resources, right? We all have some kind of experience. We all manage something. Maybe it's just, our own life. Maybe it's a marriage. Maybe it's a family. Maybe it's the job or whatever, right? But the first step that anybody who wants to manage holistically, and managing holistically is managing complexity. Okay, that's what holistic management is, managing complexity, which we all are trying to do. The first thing that anybody there will do is define what you are managing. Who are the decision makers? And I want to share something with you guys. This is taken from a handout about the foundations of holistic management. And these are the core components of holistic management. And I want you guys to look at the first one there, whole under management, clarifying what you are managing. The decision makers. Who are the decision makers? Those directly involved in its management, right? So for me, that's my wife and I. The resource base, which refers to the physical resources, land, buildings, equipment, and other aspects from which you will generate revenue and derive support, plus the people who influence or are influenced by your management, and then the money available or that you can generate from the resource base. So this first part, the whole under management, you should start there. Why? To create clarity, to just create clarity for you and whoever is managing with you, your spouse or other family members or other people in the business. Create clarity. Write this down, because we said earlier, it is your decisions that will lead you a certain place. Which place are they going to lead you? And good decision making starts by understanding what you can make decisions with and who makes those decisions. So that is where you should start. And I didn't start there. I started with how-to videos. And most of my struggles that cost me financial loss, heartache, and lots of lost time came from me not clearly defining the whole under management. What is it I am managing? Okay. So the next core component of holistic management that I think anybody should start with is to create something that we call the holistic context. Creating the context for your management. Okay. And there you define three things. You define the quality of life, an expression of the way you want your lives to be within the whole under management. What kind of life do you want to live? What is most important to you? Guys, this is very important. You might think you know, or you maybe know, but write it down, clarify it, sit down with your spouse or the other decision makers, whoever they are, and define this. Write this down, because anytime you make decisions, you can then later ask yourself the question, which comes later here, the context checks. You can later ask yourself the question, well, is this in alignment with my quality of life that I want to live? Or will this decision lead me away from that? Right? And then under the holistic context, you also define your future resource base. And that is two parts, okay? A description of the environment and behaviors that will sustain the quality of life for your successors. So we think of the future as well. Okay, so I'm going to remove this real quick. I'm going to bring it back to the screen in a little bit. But I want us to think about this. So many people want a quick fix, which is also why I believe so many say, if I just had time and money. But listen, oh man, I read this article about a guy from Scotland. He won like some 50 million or something like that, or like some insane amount in the lottery. Okay, I don't encourage anybody to do the lottery. That's not what this is about. But he died, and he only had like 10 years to spend that money before he died. And it said that like in those 10 years, he almost spent all of it. That was just crazy. The thing is, we are so good at we get more, we spend it quicker. Okay, so we have more time, we fill the time quicker, right? That's not the problem. The problem is managing what we already have. And the problem is making the right decisions. Okay, so I see a lot of comments, and I'm going to get to you guys in a little bit. I want to first share what's on my heart, and then we can get deeper with your comments. I really appreciate you guys chatting here. So whether you have very little in your bank account or you have a lot in your bank account, we all should start by clearly defining who are the managers and what is it we manage. Okay. The next thing is what kind of life do we want to live, and what do we want the landscape to look like, and how do we want to live and how do we need to live in order to ensure the support of the people that we need. We're creating this clarity. We are pinning this down. And that is the basis to make decisions. Guys, it is within the power of the decisions that we take, that we make, that our future path is determined. And this is true for anything. This is true for food. The decision you make of what you are going to eat is going to determine your physical health. Okay? For me personally, it is, the decision for your faith, that is going to determine the afterlife, but also how you live now, who controls you. It is decisions on the land that will determine what direction the land will head. Is it going to regenerate, or is it going to deteriorate? In social in a social aspect, it's our decisions that will deepen a friendship or distance us from a friend. It's our decisions, and we all make decisions. So why is this a good place for anybody to start? Because we all have to make decisions, and I believe that we all struggle with all of this. Let me take you back to what this comment said. As much as the holistic approach makes sense, I feel the biggest hurdle is implementing it, taking one decision, looking at all the possible outcomes and all the ways to get there or not is not easy. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I've had so many people come to me and say, what you're describing about holistic management, I'm doing this already and stuff. And yes, I know we are all trying to do this. This is nothing new. It's nothing people need to be scared of. It's nothing that, oh, now Simeon comes, or the Savory Institute comes, or Alan Savory comes with some new method, and now they think everybody has to change everything. No, that's not what this is about. Holistic management provides us with a framework to help us do what this comment says is so hard to do. And holistic management is for anybody, for any organization, for any person. You can live in a small apartment, but we as homesteaders and farmers benefit the most from it, because a lot of the planning procedures and understandings are really focused and tailored towards farmers. And that's why it's so powerful for us. And that's why I focus on it so much here at the Sound Farmer. So how do we do this? The question, I guess, then is, the question, I guess, then is, how do we do this? How do we how are we able to take decisions, make decisions that will actually improve our quality of life, right? That will have desired outcomes financially, socially. Look, my parents are visiting right now, and some 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, when I was in my late teens, my parents moved from Germany to Sweden. And they took all of us children with them. And the reason they wanted to move was because they wanted to focus more on the family. They were struggling. My dad was running a business, and they were struggling health-wise. The family was suffering. They wanted to improve that. They wanted to change that. And don't so many of us want to live a different kind of life. We want to farm. We want to homestead. But how do we do this? Because there's so many aspects of it. Financially, socially, all our relationships, our life, our health, the land's health, the animals. I know what it's like to get frustrated and burn out doing farming, doing what you love. So how do we do this with the decision making? So we've talked about the whole under management, clarifying what you're managing. We've talked about the holistic context, creating the context for your management. And then maybe the most powerful tool in holistic management is the context checks, using the 7 checking questions to make sure that the decisions we want to take are in alignment with our holistic context. And these are the 7 questions. And we have a context checking record where you walk through those questions. And those questions really deal with the social aspects, the biological aspects, the financial aspects. And so holistic management has created a framework to assist us in this decision-making process. Okay? It has, and that's the power of it. And it has been tested for decades successfully by many. And that's why I believe it's very trustworthy. Alan Savory says, the land is so tied to the culture of the people and to the economy that all 3 need to be managed indivisibly, as we do when managing holistically. So look, I assume that most of us here are farmers or homesteaders. We know and we understand that we need to have, good outcomes, both for us personally, both for the finances of us privately and the farm, and for the land's health and the animal health. If one of those is, going horrible, what good does it do when the other 2 are doing fine? No. We need that in all 3 areas. Okay? And so that is where holistic management comes in, because we need to juggle this. So if you don't know where to start, if you feel so stuck, you don't know what to tackle next on your farm or homestead, you don't know where to start even, you don't know how to do your time, your money, what to do with it, start with the foundation. Start with the foundation. Start with defining the whole under management. Who manages what? Okay? And then create your holistic context. This is very, very important. And then when you have done that, you have built a foundation, you have created clarity for your life. Okay? This is about so much more than farming. You have created clarity for your life. So that's how I feel anybody needs to start there. And even if you are way into farming or way into homesteading and you haven't done this yet, please do, because there's so much room to improve. And then you can deepen your understanding and your knowledge of decision making, or of holistic decision making, even more. Okay? So this is what I want to talk about today. This is what I want to warmly um, recommend to all of you guys. Okay, so let me try to get into the comments a little bit and see. I saw a comment earlier. I'm trying to see here. I see a bunch of you guys have been really a lot of people here have written. Okay, somebody wrote this. So, Simeon, thank you for addressing the decision making. I'm a new widow and have 27 acres of debt free land to begin a farm. The decision making process is extremely difficult because of grief brain pain. I'm so sorry for your loss. And you wrote, I feel pressure because of the state of the world. I need to approach this from a position of faith and find a starting point. Yeah, wow, this is really hard. You read these things and life throws things at you sometimes, and it's so hard, and I'm really sorry for your loss, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're joining in. Thank you for being open and sharing this with others. It is very, very difficult, and it's very important to find other people you can talk to. It's very important to go work through the grief the way that you that works for you and that you need to. It's very important to have good friends and family close. And I think maybe some decisions have to be made right away, but others, give it some time. With some things you might be able to wait. I don't know your specific circumstances, but yeah, I'm sure you have good people around you. If you want to share more with my wife and I, feel free to reach out to us by email, swedishhomestead@gmail.com. So other people, let's see here. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Okay. I saw that there's an ongoing conversation between a bunch of people. The way I can share this, the way the economy is headed, there will be nothing in our bank accounts, and we will have a lot of time to think about how we are going to eat. Faith in Jesus will keep you going. Yeah, I mean, one of the things, my faith is certainly important to me, but in regards to the bank account and the economy, I think it's very important to understand that money, and we all know this, money is only of value as long as we put trust into it. And the same goes for crypto, for example. But I just think it's important. We're farmers and homesteaders here mostly. I believe it's called the sound farmer. And having livestock outside is a security. Having livestock outside that can feed you is security. Sunshine is free. Precipitation is free. And if we manage things right, we can manage for the food. And there's a lot of value in that. People will always need food. And I believe that in holistic management, we we say there are solar dollars, mineral dollars, and paper dollars. Paper dollars, you know, it's like the stock market, for example. You put, it's just as long as people believe in it, is there any value? Mineral dollars would be money derived from, let's say, gold or oil or something like that. And solar dollars is money that's derived from something was powered by the sun, and people then right away thinks solar panels or wind turbines even, but no, mainly I would say this is something that's derived through photosynthesis, from living plants, from the sun's energy. And that is really sustainable, if you want to use that word. And so when you guys grow things using the sun's energy, then and the soil is regenerating through it, you have a very sustainable economy in your life. If you use lots of mineral input, like chemical fertilizer, for example, or lots of diesel with your tractors, that's a whole nother story again. But let's say you're managing your life, your economy, your land in a way that you focus on capturing the sun's free energy through living plants, and through that to all other living beings, which is that's how it works, the energy flow. Then you're really building something strong for yourself and your family. And so once you get into holistic financial planning, which is one planning process of holistic management, of the holistic management framework, once you get into that, you learn all of that. You learn the different kinds of money. You learn to create lasting wealth, to have wealth generating expenses that you focus on first. You learn to evaluate where is the best use of my money and my time with the best return, smallest investment with the biggest return of money. We talk about the marginal reaction, for example. So I think it's very important that we realize this, and that we build a sound economy for us personally. We don't have to put our trust in the world's economy, so to speak. Like, I generate currently, because I work as a farm coach and farm consultant, farm planner right now, my income is right now paper dollars, so to speak. It's as long as people think I have something of value to give, that I can make money with that. But as soon as we have our farm, I want the main portion of our income to be derived from solar dollars. Income generated from regenerating soils and land through the sun's energy. And we don't dismiss any sources of income in holistic management. We just want people to understand, and we train people in understanding where they come from, the stability that they give or don't. And so one of the questions is, as you saw here in the context checks, is the energy or money to be used in this action derived from the most appropriate source, and will it be used in the most appropriate way based on the holistic context? Okay, that's a question we ask ourselves in holistic decision making when it comes to to making those decisions. And that's a very important question. And if I had a lot of money on my bank account, that would be considered paper money, I would say. I would want to make sure that I would put that money into something that is not so unsure. So I saw this comment earlier that I shared: we will soon have nothing on the bank account. Well, then don't have it on the bank account. Have it in a healthy regenerating forest. Maybe start a farm with somebody if you have money. right? Who does regenerative farming. But even in this is something in holistic management. When you get training and you have the question, what should I do with that money? It'll answer that for you. Let me share one more question. I think that came up. Let's see here. Good question. Where do I put my stock in my life? I'm going to use this to contemplate over the next few days. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, in the comment earlier, faith in Jesus will keep you going. I mean, yeah, ultimately that's where I find my purpose too. But that doesn't separate us from having to make financial decisions. God wants us to be responsible stewards and make responsible, financially sound decisions. And so, how do we do that? That's a question everybody needs to answer, So yeah, the title of today's live stream was a good starting point for everybody, and that's where I think anybody should start. Anybody should start by creating clarity, focusing on who are the managers, what do we manage, and what kind of life is it we actually want to live. And then you can go deeper. Now listen, I want to show you guys something. Couple things here. Okay. First, for the German speaking people among you, if there are any, down here, I'm going to do a introduction to holistic management or holistic management overview this upcoming Friday. You can book this offer on my Volley page. You can get that through our website until Thursday, March 16th. It's going to be in German with German material from the Savior Institute, the official German ebooks. So please, if you are German speaking, you're interested, there were a bunch of people who were interested, then go check out that website. Now, for you others, we have created all new Volley offers where we want to help people. We've created those offers as specific help for this holistic management journey. So if you want to have help defining your holistic context and whole under management, there's an offer for that. If you want to go deeper into holistic financial planning, we have an offer for that as well, or land planning or holistic plant grazing, all those things. Check that out website. You can look through the offers there and see how you can go deeper into that journey. Now, if those things are outside of your budget and it's difficult for you time-wise and all that, here's another thing. I've created a course, low budget course that you can watch at your own speed, at your own time. It's called The Life-Changing Power of Holistic Management. You can find it on our website. Go to the website, check out the course. Basically, it gives you an overview, an understanding of the holistic management framework. You can learn about holistic management there, and it's an amazing preparation for going deeper into the different planning procedures, planning processes of holistic management. It's a really good starting point. Holistic management, the concept behind it, the terminology can be quite overwhelming at first. It was for me when I went through the comprehensive trainings. And I think this course would really prepare you well and show you, even if you feel like you want to go further and deeper into it without having spent too much money or too much time on it. So check out that course. It's $49, and it gives you the ebook bundle, the Holistic Management Fundamentals, so you can read up and study a lot. And these things that we have mentioned a little bit today in today's live stream, you'll go much deeper into those there. Okay, so because I got this comment also in an email that I want to go deeper, but that's what I do with my other services and products. That's why I've created them, because I first of all, I need to make a living, and I have committed given like 6-7 years of my life to really study um, and be trained myself in holistic management. But I also think that it shows people's commitment when they feel like this is worth it. I want to do this, and it allows me to spend my time with you differently than just here on a live stream when I do group coaching. So these live streams, I think I try to give you guys all good value. I try to share a lot of stuff with you, but I do offer more to go deeper. And so you can see that on our Volley page or on our website. Okay. Let me see here. I gotta um see if there are a couple more questions. Yeah, to get back to you, you said I'm trying to find a builder who will build a small home. Not easy in my area. They want $175 a square foot for building small. That's incredibly expensive. And I saw Daryl recommended tiny homes. Tiny homes could be something. My wife and I, we have looked a little bit at this because we are thinking of probably buying raw land once we come to the States, because we just get so much more for the money. We couldn't afford a nice size farm that can sustain us with a big house for a family on it. And I'd rather spend my money on good land than on a house that doesn't perfectly fit our needs. But how do you do that then? So we've been talking a lot, and we've been thinking of mobile homes, of tiny houses, but we've also been thinking of yurts. Check out nomad shelters. Those are yurts from Alaska, or check out yurts, the Pacific yurts. There are other websites as well, but we really, really like them. You can get them in all different sizes, from like 12 or 16 feet in diameter all the way to 50 feet in diameter. Huge, huge things. You can always sell them afterwards again. You can put them up sometimes without a permit, and you can build things into that place, like in a house. It's really cool. On the websites, Net Shelter and Pacific Yurts are a lot of pictures and videos. Go check that out. My wife and I love looking at those, and you square footage wise, I think you can get off cheaper there, quicker, more easily. But I mean, you need to want it, depending on your climate. They make them for Alaska, but they are also louder inside, and it's just something you would need to want to be okay with, kind of thing. So, yeah, guys, it is approaching the full hour. We are going to barbecue outside now with my parents and have a good time. So, thank you for coming and joining me today. I really appreciate you guys. And I want to encourage you all, really want to encourage you all, don't give up. If you feel like time and money is the biggest thing that is lacking, focus on what you do have. Focus on what you do have, and you can do more with that than you think. And feel free to reach out to us if you have questions about our products and services. Check it out. But again, for the German-speaking folks, okay, let me switch that one more time. For the German-speaking folks, next Friday, and this will be recorded. So if you want to purchase this webinar and course, this training bundle in German, but you can't make it to the actual Zoom group coaching next Friday, then that's okay, because you'll get the link of the recording from me. So if you know somebody German speaking who might be interested, then you can share this offer. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today's live stream. Have a great weekend. All the best to you. Let me pray real quick. Father in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you that we could do this live stream. I pray for everybody who has watched that you will help them and strengthen them, that they would grow in their relationship with you even, and find wisdom and strength in you. I want to especially pray for the lady who has recently lost her husband. Help her in her grief, strengthen her, be with her, comfort her, put people on her side that can share your love with her, and just help her in the next steps. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, guys, thank you for today. We will see you all in the next video. Have a good time. Bye.